everybody, this is Green Bean setting up for another late night blog, and it's an exciting time to do it because we are finally here. We're here. Training camp has officially begun. Everyone's excited. A lot of people are degrading as far as their mental health is concerned with some specific issues that we have going on. But all of that aside, it's hard not to be excited today because today is the day that we've been waiting for. This is the beginning of the Robert Saleh, Mike LaFleur, Joe Douglas era of New York Jets football. And I'm not taking so much of these negatives. I'm just looking at all the positives. Like Robert Saleh said, they were asking him about one player being Zach Wilson. He said there are 89 other guys in here that I have to focus on. And that's something that I think is a pretty good mantra for situations like this. There are always going to be issues. There are always going to be hurdles and bumps in the road. But the truth is that we have 89 guys, a lot of which I am very excited to see play. So let's talk about the big one first. Zach Wilson is obviously not signed, okay? We're seeing reports that the Jets aren't going to budge. We're seeing reports that Zach Wilson's agents aren't going to budge. Then we're seeing reports that it could get done any minute now. And Robert Saleh said, ask me tomorrow. So, I mean, we have all these conflicting reports and feelings and blurbs and everything. And here's what it boils down to. Nobody knows anything, which is pretty standard so far for the Joe Douglas era, guys. This has been very consistent. We've known very little about anything that he has going on. So is it a positive or negative that he's not signed? Of course, it's a negative, right? We know that. For our current standing right now, it's a negative that Zach Wilson is not in camp. Is it an insurmountable negative? No, it's not. This is a walkthrough day. This is a walkthrough day. Tomorrow's another similar type of day. Or I think tomorrow they might even have off, and a mandatory day off, and then Friday's the first day with full pads and stuff like that. So we do have a little bit of time here. Now, the issue is most likely offset language, which a lot of you guys probably have figured it out by now what it is, but very quickly, offset language means that if the player doesn't work out and we have to release him, if he has $10 million left on his contract, we cut him, we owe him that $10 million. But if he goes somewhere else and signs for $5 million, we only owe him the remainder, which is $5 million, instead of paying him 10, and then the other team pays him 5, which gives him 15. So obviously you can see where the motivations lie for both sides. Now, a lot of people were also saying things like, well, if every other quarterback can get offset language removed, why can't the Jets give and do the same thing? It's not exactly true. Just so we're aware, Trey Lance, who just signed his contract today, does have offset language in his contract. So while I do think there's some blame, for lack of a better word, on the Jets side, I will also remind you that Zach Wilson's agent is known for doing this. They've done this a few times, namely the Joey Bosa debacle went for a couple of weeks. I think it was 2 weeks, his holdout, and then so it was so contentious that the actual agent had to remove himself from the dealings, and then another agent kind of stepped in and worked it out. So here are my observations. One, I want to just implore everyone to calm down. I want to bring us back to just a couple of months ago. Remember when Joe Douglas didn't sign Joe Thuney? And he didn't sign the list of free agents that a lot of us had put together for the free agent period. Remember? Remember how bad it was, how poisonous like Jets Twitter and Jetnation was? It was out of control. It was as if the world was ending. Now, anyone looking back at our free agent period, doesn't it look pretty good? Didn't we do a pretty decent job this year? Corey Davis, Carl Lawson, Tyler Kroft, Morgan Moses later. So we did a good job in free agency. Joe Douglas has been known for being patient. He's also known for trying to change the culture. I saw a few comments that said the Jets are the laughing stock of the NFL right now. Everyone's laughing at us. Here's the thing. They may be laughing at us, but the thing is this. Joe Douglas is changing decades of being the laughing stock of the NFL. He is drawing hard lines in the sand, and he's setting precedent for the future. If, in fact, he caves now the Jets have had offset language in, I'm pretty sure, all of their contracts. They have offset language in every contract Joe Douglas has put together. So in the event he caves and does not give this offset language now, he's setting a precedent to be beaten down later, okay? Now, that said, I'm not in favor of a holdout, and I'm just as concerned as everybody else, except for the fact that I don't see this as the end of the world. I think Joe Douglas has done a great job being patient, being secretive, being quiet, being slow and steady wins the race up to this point, and I'm going to trust him. My other observation, my prediction, if you will, is this. Zach Wilson's going to be in camp. He's going to be a New York Jet this year. He's not going to miss that much time, and we're going to forget about this. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on it. So if you can, just try to calm down. I want him to. I do. We all want Zach Wilson in camp. We do. But let's just remember that it takes two to tango, number one. And number two, that there's more going on here than just the simple fan side, which is I want to see my quarterback in practice, right? I also saw some other observations in camp. Now, some of them were good, some of them not so good. Let's start with a negative one. Why not? We're already in the negative sphere of things. Let's start with a negative one. Denzel Mims had a couple drops today, and I didn't like seeing it. There was one that, in quotes, sailed through his hands. Now, I don't like it. Now, I'm not falling to pieces. It's day one of camp. It is what it is. Denzel Mims has done things in his college career and even last year that lead me to believe he's going to be a very, very good NFL receiver, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to see him catching everything. Now, we were stuck with James Morgan and Mike White, and they had a little bit of a rough day at times using the checkdowns and everything, but they were able to get quite a few nice passes off, and there were terms used like a little bit of swagger, a little bit of juice came back into the offense towards the later end of practice, and that's good to see. Now, looking at our running backs, my boy, I'm just saying get used to it, guys. Everybody's writing off LaMichael Pirine. I'm telling you right now, I'm a big supporter of LaMichael Pirine, as you guys know. If he doesn't perform as well, I'm hoping the guy who outperforms him stays. But I think LaMichael Pirine's going to be fine. He had a couple very nice runs today. Some were even called big runs today. So that's real nice to see. And the reason for the runs is the better news, which is Elijah Vera-Tucker and Mekhi Becton have started early. They're opening big holes. Now, again, we got to remember, it's a walkthrough practice, so let's not get too caught up in the negative. Let's not get too caught up in the positive. But the thing is this. It's nice to see that the left side of our offensive line is starting from day one, letting everybody know that we're here. And we're going to be opening up holes for the running backs. You saw Mekhi Becton. They were asking him about Zach Wilson. He said, I'm going to block for whoever's behind me. I don't care. That's pro. That's a professional thing to say, and I love to hear it. It was really exciting to see that, and they started off early. Michael Carter looked the best out of all the running backs, and guys, that's what we really want to see. If there's somebody that has a real chance of being running back one, any sort of bell cow, it's more than likely going to be Michael Carter, and that's what we wanted to see. So the running back group, and they caught a lot of checkdowns, so the running back group looked good today, and that is good news for us. Another interesting tidbit that I didn't see anybody really commenting on. Our starting cornerback was blessed on Austin, right? We thought that he might be a starting cornerback. And Lamar Jackson. I was delighted to see that. He had a quiet OTA minicamp offseason. We didn't hear much about him since the big play, right? We didn't hear much about Lamar Jackson. And it's nice to see that at least at day one, with Bryce Hall not there, Lamar Jackson is ahead of guys like Isaiah Dunn, Jason Pinnock, Brandon Echols, and the like. I like that. I'm not saying that I think he's going to win the job, but I like that he's perceived as ahead of those guys, having been in the NFL for a year. I like it. I have hopes for Lamar Jackson's development. I'm really hoping that the defensive staff here can do something with him. He has a lot of potential, man. C.J. Mosley looks good. A little bit of bad news. Ashton Davis and Vinny Curry. Robert Saleh said that it looks like we're not going to get them back until week 2 of the season. That's heartbreaking. It really is. Ashton Davis is having a tough go in the early portion of his career, and that's not good news. It's not one of those things like Denzel Mims dropping a pass. This is real stuff. Vinny Curry and Ashton Davis, they're not going to be with us all through the preseason, week 2 of the regular season, and that's not good news. I had high hopes for him. I still do, but again, it's not a good way to start, and that's sad to see. Vinny Curry's a little older, so it is what it is, but Ashton Davis is a guy I think Joe Douglas is counting on to develop into a starter for this team, and so far he's had a pretty injury-riddled career, so that's not good news. The bottom line here, guys, is that Kenny Yeboah caught a pass. That's the bottom line, okay? Kenny Yeboah caught a nice gainer. I think it was from James Morgan. I might have that off. But Kenny Yeboah, my boy's climbing up the depth chart. He's climbing. He's clawing his way back. Chris Herndon started with the 2s. Tyler Croft was the initial starter with the 1s, and I think that's appropriate right now. If Chris Herndon does anything on this team, I would like to see him have to earn it, and it looks like that's what they're going to be doing with him, which is good news in my book. So, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to get there. You'll see. We'll be talking about Zach Wilson and his passes in 7-on-7s before you know it. It's going to be like this. It's going to be over in a minute. Try not to have a conniption just like we did in the beginning of free agency, okay? Just like we did 3 or 4 years ago with Sam Darnold's contract. This stuff happens. Joe Douglas is changing the culture. He's done a good job from my perspective up to this point. I haven't loved everything, but where this stuff is concerned, he's done very, very well. One example is getting Crowder to take a $5 million pay cut, using that $5 million to get Morgan Moses in there. Turned Crowder into Crowder and Moses for the same money. Guys, he's doing a good job. Let's trust our GM, and let's see what the process is. Don't forget, Zach Wilson's agents are kind of known for this, so he's letting them know, I'm not the guy. You can do that with the Jaguars. You can do that with the Lions. I'm not the guy. So I got to respect that. That said, get him in camp already. Figure it out, okay? But guys, I hope you're enjoying camp. I hope you're still excited. Don't let these little ripples of bad news take your joy away, man. We earned it. We have lots of things to be positive about, and we earned it. So this is going to be a great year. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great training camp and great preseason. And with all that said, go Jets.